Google's Pixel lineup of smartphones have always been about the company's vision of how Android was best intended to be experienced. But they've never been the sort of smartphones to sell at the scale of Google's Android partners like Samsung or OnePlus. In India particularly, Pixel devices have been noticeably absent, with Google launching the Pixel 3 and the 3 XL way back in 2018 and entirely foregoing the premium flagship Pixel 4, 5 and 6 series, and only the budget 4A and 6A making their way to Indian shores. All that has changed this year, with Mountain View surprisingly launching the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro to India alongside their US debut at reasonably competitive pricing given Google's past track record. Will the 4-year absence make our hearts grow fonder? Or have loyalties wandered so far off with other brands to not leave the new Pixels with a fighting chance? My name is Tushar Kanwar and this is the review of the Pixel 7 Pro. In a sea of sameness that is smartphone design these days, the new Pixel 7 Pro instantly stands out as being uniquely Pixel in design. More so because the previous generation Pixels never really launched here officially, so it's a fresh look. The distinctive camera band on the rear, somewhat inspired by Robocop's visor,
thank you for your cooperation,
is now in body-matched aluminium, polished on the Pro, and one that merges seamlessly into the aluminium frame. Gone is the two-tone finish of the Pixel 6 series, replaced with a single-color Gorilla Glass Victus rear panel. The phone looks and feels premium in the hand, but the less than ergonomic dimensions and the polished frame on the 7 Pro means it's a slippery customer at the best of times. Compared to the smaller Pixel 7, this larger body affords the 7 Pro a higher resolution 3120 by 1440 pixel 6.7-inch screen with a 120Hz refresh rate. The panels look great, offer deep blacks and vivid colors and ample brightness to enjoy high dynamic range content on OTT streaming services. The 7 Pro gets a curved screen on both sides, which sometimes has the unintended side effect of registering accidental touches. So if you're the sort who abhors curved screens, the flat Pixel 7 is probably the one that you should be looking at. The bezels on the 7's display in particular are noticeable, but the Gorilla Glass Victus protection and IP68 dust and water resistance means extra durability. You get face unlock via the front camera, but the fingerprint sensor is often faster to use and way more secure than face unlock, which could be potentially fooled by a good enough photograph. Google eschewed the Qualcomm MediaTek brigade last year with the switch to its own Tensor chips, and the Pixel 7 lineup has the latest Tensor G2 at its heart, with 12GB and 128GB of memory and storage on the Pixel 7 Pro. In everyday use, the performance is smooth and free of hiccups and lags, and apps open quickly. Animations were smooth, although one did notice that the device would heat up a bit over extended gaming periods or during the initial setup. Gaming on COD Mobile and Asphalt 9 allowed one to push graphics settings to the maximum level, while on a more demanding game like Genshin Impact, the occasional frame drops occurred. It's no pushover, the Tensor G2, but you should keep your expectations in check, particularly if you're switching from a recent flagship device with a top-tier Snapdragon or Apple A series chip. Google's chips seem to hold their own for practically any task most folks would expect from their smartphones, but they just don't have the same level of performance headroom as you would expect from a similarly priced device from Apple or Samsung. One wishes the variant on sale in India came with a higher storage option. 128GB is simply too low for a phone that comes in at 84,999. Battery life on the 5000 mAh battery on the 7 Pro is decent. One could last the better part of the day unless the workload involved a lot of shooting videos, map navigation and the like. Charging speeds though are slow at 30 watt on wired and 23 watts on wireless on the 7 Pro. And the phones take nearly an hour and a half to charge, which is noticeably slow for 2022 flagships. Now, where these phones lack in pure horsepower, they more than make up for it in software features and an absolute lack of bloatware of any kind. Although some might wish for some more customization capabilities around themes, icon packs, or lock screen customization. The real-time voice transcribing in the Recorder app continues to amaze at its accuracy. Magic Eraser, which erases unwanted people from photos, Now Playing, which is an offline detection of any music that's playing, and Live Translate work like magic. And the marquee Photo Unblur feature unblurs photos and brings the subject back into focus in Google Photos, even those that weren't taken on a Pixel to begin with. Of course, the real reason many consider a Pixel above all else is the camera performance, rather just how much Google ekes out of commodity camera hardware using its AI and ML prowess. In terms of hardware, the Pixel 7 Pro features a 50 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, plus a 48 megapixel telephoto shooter with 5x optical zoom. Taking this optical zoom and Google's super res zoom image processing, the Pixel 7 Pro can go all the way till 30x zoom. And while this is significantly lesser reach than the 100x zoom on the Samsung S22 Ultra, the Pixel 7 Pro's results at 10 to 20x are very usable and bested only by the Samsung, and a 10.8 megapixel selfie shooter. Image quality is, as one has come to expect from Pixel cameras, sharp, detailed and dialed back on noise, but with warmer tones and a contrasty, slightly underexposed nature that are pure people pleasers. That portrait mode remains the best in the business, detecting the edges of subjects like strands of hair, the odd flower petal, and intelligently blurring out the background with that creamy bokeh. Night sight shots processing is noticeably faster, yielding steadier and completely usable shots in conditions that would handily trip up other premium flagships. On video, the new feature is cinematic blur mode, which, much like the iPhone's cinematic mode, adds a soft blurriness to the background of your video clip to create a more cinema-like look. Results are, well, hit or miss depending on the scene. In some scenes, it gets the blurriness on point, while others, the blurriness is applied unevenly as you pan the camera around. At Rs 84,999 for the single 128GB version of the Pixel 7 Pro, the phone has landed at price points that will tempt buyers to forego spending more on a Samsung or an iPhone Pro variant, although that single 128GB variant may be a deal breaker for some. One has to also keep an eye out for potential hardware issues and the ever-looming aspect of Google's limited service centers, should things go south. Plus, these are not performance-first phones. Instead, they show you just how far a software-first approach can take you, and the Pixel 7 Pro excels in these terms. We hope you're enjoying our continuing tech coverage on Indulgexpress. Please keep coming back and stay subscribed for more such tech videos.